football. Early draft strategies for 2017 fantasy football is the video that we're doing.
We're doing our top 10, and we noticed how much the landscape is going to change in the early rounds from last year to this year, so we wanted to shoot a video on it. Before we get into it though, thanks to our sponsor, 2M Football. They just started up, our friends over there just started up a YouTube channel. They're trying to get some views, trying to get some likes. They're going through every NFL team, kind of looking at what their team needs and how they're looking for the offseason, what they should be trying to do and all that. So check them out. You can click on the link in the description, take them to their channel. Give them some likes, give them some subscribes, give them some Smack Talk love.
Yeah, give them the little FST bump. Love that. All right, so when looking at 2017, the first thing that is going to be very apparent is the overcorrection that happened last year with the wide receivers. Everybody was like, well, you got to go wide receivers early because wide receivers are so safe. Wide receivers never get hurt. Wide receivers always produce what you think wide receivers are going to do.
Wide receiver.
But guess what? Hopkins, if you drafted him, you weren't happy. If you drafted Dez Bryant, you weren't happy. If you drafted Robinson, you weren't happy. And if you drafted Marsh, you weren't happy. So they're not necessarily that much safer. So this year, you'll see a correction back to the running back landscape.
And that's what it should have always been. I mean, you know, we said it going into last year. We think it's going to be an overcorrection, but then when the draft day comes, you know, you're sitting there and, oh, Brandon Marshall, he's safe. But when you look at it, in 2016, first 20 picks, about 11 of them were wide receivers. When you look at what we think is going to happen in 2017, we think it's only going to be about 7 wide receivers. So, you know, there's not going to be any tight ends in the first 20 picks, more than likely, maybe a quarterback, but we're going to go back to 12 running backs roughly in the first 20 picks, which is kind of what it normally is. And we've always been on the side of you need to at least get one running back probably in the first 2 picks. I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but there's some people that who used to say running back. Like they would reach on it and it was almost a correction too far towards running back.
But that's something to be said, right? Never ever, and you can go wide receiver. Never go into a draft with the assumption that you have to take X position at X time, or you're going to go running back, quarterback, wide receiver, because it never works whenever you do it that way.
And the other thing too is the quarterback debate. Do you wait on a quarterback or do you try to get one of the studs early and pay top dollar? Personally, I've won with both ways, but I like to get the stud quarterback. But what's interesting about heading into 2017 is it makes the debate even stronger now when you look at the projected kind of top 5 for 2017 with Rodgers, you know, Luck, Breeze, Ryan, and, you know, maybe Cousins in there in that discussion. But, you know, those were the top 5 from 2016. 2 of them were late round guys and 3 of them were early round guys. But for me personally, I think it's much easier to predict who's going to do well when you're looking at the top 5 guys. I mean, 3 of the top 5 guys did really well. But I feel like that's kind of the case pretty much every year.
But that's how Dustin does it. The way that I'm going to do it is I like to wait, right? So I will take Aaron Rodgers, I will take Luck, I will wait on a quarterback if I have to. I just want my quarterback to come on my team at a little bit of value. I want to be the guy that the quarterback's slipping and then I grab him. I don't want to ever be the guy to reach and take him a couple picks earlier than I think he should go. I always want a guy a little bit later. If it works out that I have to go super late, then so be it. But if Aaron Rodgers has fallen to me at pick 19, 20, I'll be very happy to take him at that point.
And that's the thing, is there's 2 sides of it, and no one's right or wrong. And that's what I think with the quarterback debate, everyone always feels like there's someone that's right and there's someone that's wrong. But, you know, I have no problem reaching on Rodgers. He's more than likely going to play 16 games, and I get a quarterback that I'm confident in. But, you know, when you look at the other 2 in the top 5 last year heading in, Russell Wilson and Cam Newton, you know, they obviously let down their owners. So, I mean, again, it's funny how it just kind of built up that argument to be even more of a debate, you know, when you know 2 of the top 5 were guys that waited and the other 3 were. So it's interesting.
But let's wrap this up with tight ends. Gronk always gets hurt. Reed is always an injury concern. We might be ranking Kelsey our number 1 tight end, but it doesn't matter. None of them are going in the first 20, 25 picks probably. It's just tough to take a tight end there. Auction leagues, I like to be the dollar tight end guy. And if you look at guys like Rudolph and Cameron Brate, they were top 7 tight ends last year. Nobody thought they were going to hit a top 7. So tight end's certainly something that I will be waiting on it again, going with value. But regardless, to Dustin's point, there's no wrong or right way how you're going to build a team, but what you do need to know is who you're going to get late in drafts, know your sleepers, know the value guys that you think you want to get, so you don't panic in those middle late rounds, because that's what really makes your draft, right? Those are the keys. When you find a gem that's going to blow up, those are the guys that are going to make you win your leagues.
And it's always fun after every season to kind of look at what we learned, what we saw, and how that's going to impact the future. And what we learned in 2016 is that pretty much the overall philosophy that has been over the last 10 years is right.
Right.
You should be focusing on
Well, just think last
the
year.
LaShawn McCoys of the second round instead of taking Brandon Marshall.
As simple as last year, it was Brown, Beckham, Julio, the top 3 picks. Ain't none of them gonna be in the top 3 this year. It's gonna be all running backs in the top 3. So
and it's a lot.
That's a change.
It's when you look at the discrepancy from like the 10th best running back to the 30th best running back and the 10th best receiver to the 30th best receiver, there's much bigger gap at running back. So that's always the debate and why it makes sense, and it proved, in 2016 that is still the case. So we will see an adjustment back to what it should have always been.
So make sure you subscribe, make sure you're hitting that notification, leave a comment what you think your strategy is going to be this year, and we'll be doing more footballs during the year, so leave any comments on some videos you'd like to see during this offseason.
Check out 2M Football.
Give them a little smack talk bump.
Football!
What a weak football yell. Weak.
Football!
That was just weird now. That's okay.
Football?